Someone literally just went and tried to take out a Supreme Court justice. I don't know how else to intro this video. I want to try to think of something clever, something funny to say. No, there's no way of saying it, right? Someone literally just tried to assassinate a Supreme Court justice. They went to Kavanaugh's house with guns, knives, and stuff to break into the door with, and was only stopped by Secret Service agents that were out there. This is where we have gone in this country. This is where the Democrats have taken us at this point. All right, they knew this would happen. They knew this sort of crap would happen when they leaked out the decision for Roe v. Wade. They knew this would happen. They knew what they were doing when they sat there and accused Kavanaugh of all of these misdeeds that, of course, there was no evidence for. They knew that someone was going to take it to that next level. That's why they did not condemn the protests that were taking place outside of his house. Mind you, protesting outside of a judge's house is illegal. It is illegal in this country because judges are not supposed to take what the public wants into account. They're supposed to follow the rule of law and nothing else. So protesting outside of a judge's house is intimidation. It is illegal. And yet, when asked about it, the White House said, we respect protest. We respect protest. It is illegal, and they knew what they were doing. All right, they knew what they were doing when they were saying during the Trump administration, they wanted people to get in each other's faces. All right, they wanted them not to be civil. They wanted them to start confronting people wherever they could. They wanted this sort of vitriol between the two parties. All right, the right is the one who's saying, "Hey, come over here. Come over here and let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Let's debate." That's the big thing. Ocasio-Cortez is over there screaming when Ben Shapiro says, "Hey, debate me." The right actually wants to have conversations. The right actually wants to talk. What does the left want to do? They want to show up at your house. They want to show up at your house and intimidate you in that manner. And of course, some crazy is going to take it to that next level. I can't believe this. I cannot believe this is where we've gone. And is it any wonder? Democrat leader Chuck Schumer went out there and said shit like this.
And they're taking away fundamental rights. I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you.
Tell me, Chuck, when you said pay the price, what did you mean? What did you mean? Because you won't know what hit you? These are Supreme Court justices. They're not up to the whims of the people. They don't get voted out. That's not how the system works, all right? They are there for a lifetime appointment. So what did you mean when you said pay the price? What did you mean when you said you won't know what hit you? And this isn't the first time, of course. You had the congressional baseball shooting where a Bernie Sanders supporter went and tried to assassinate a bunch of Republicans, and we just swept that one right under the rug. We talk about January 6th, where the only person there who was killed was one of the rioters. But we won't talk about the fact that a Democrat went and tried to kill a bunch of Republicans at a congressional baseball game. We won't talk about that anymore. That's been swept under the rug. We won't talk about the fact that we have constant issues of like the Portland issue, right? Where the guy went up to him and said, "Hey, are you a Trump supporter?" The guy said yes. He then put 2 in his chest. We won't talk about that. And yet, when a guy who identifies as far left, like what happened in Buffalo, the white supremacist who went into the supermarket over in Buffalo, he goes over there and shoots up the place. In his manifesto, he said he was part of the far left, and yet they say he was part of the far right. This is where we're at in this country, where the left is trying to gaslight the right as much as possible, while of course doing everything they accuse the right of doing, because for them, it's not about principles, it's not about values, it's about power. It's about how they can get power the best they can. That's the only way they look at things, is power. So, we have in this article right here, a man armed with a pistol, a knife, and other weapons was arrested near the Maryland home of Justin Brett Kavanaugh early Wednesday as he said he traveled from California to kill the Supreme Court justice, federal officials said. So, he crossed state lines, guys. He crossed state lines. Isn't it amazing? Why aren't we hearing about that? Why aren't we hearing about a guy who crossed state lines with a weapon trying to assassinate a sitting judge? We aren't going to hear about that whatsoever, are we? Inside the suitcase and backpack, the authorities later discovered a black tactical chest rig and tactical knife, a pistol with 2 magazines of ammunition, pepper spray, zip ties, a hammer, a screwdriver, a nail, a crowbar. Dude's trying to go Gordon Freeman on the bastard, I guess. A pistol, light, duct tape, and additional other items, according to the affidavit. So he brought items there to break into the house as well. His plan was to break into the house, kill the justice, and kill himself, according to the affidavit. He told the police that he was upset about the recent school shooting in Texas, and of course about the leaked draft of Supreme Court opinion suggesting they were going to overturn Roe v. Wade. He indicated that he believed the justice he intended to kill would side with the Second Amendment. Oh, good Lord, he was going to side with the Constitution? Well, he had it coming, right? He was siding with the Constitution. He would side with the Second Amendment decisions that would loosen gun control laws. Again, it's Republicans who are dangerous. It's us Republicans who are dangerous, apparently. Of course, when a black supremacist goes over and runs over, or when a black supremacist takes a SUV and runs over around 60 people at a Christmas parade, we don't talk about it. It's in the media for what, like a week? No politicians go down there. Biden doesn't go down there. When the Buffalo shooter goes out there and kills a bunch of people, saying that he's a far leftist, what happens? They say, oh, he's part of the right. The politicians will say, oh, Sarah Palin putting targets on a map saying, hey, here's where we need to actually, go for. Here's where we need to actually, work towards actually, throwing these people out of office. Oh, well, that's enough incitement to violence to justify blaming her for when, I forget her full name, but the Gifford was actually shot in the head. Yeah, we can blame her for putting targets on a map saying, hey, here's the places we should target to get these people out of office. But when these officials come out there and actually straight up say, you won't know what hit you. We need to go after, you need to get in their faces. You need to be more aggressive. They said during the Trump administration, I don't know how there's not riots across the entire country. They sat there and supported acts of violence left and right. And yet they're the side of peace. They're the side that wants to sit there and try to say, oh, but we're above all of that. We're above all that. It's the evil Republicans. And during this, the day after someone tries to assassinate him, they are still protesting outside of his house. I mean, look at this. Just look at this. I cannot believe they are still out there protesting right outside of his house during this. How are the police not out there throwing these people off in jail? How are they not throwing these people in jail? At least for a short time, right? Let's face it, going to protesting a judge, right? That's probably not worth, years in jail, but they should at least be hit with a heavy, heavy fine. No, we're going to sit there and let them continue to intimidate him and continue to rile more people up and just inflame the situation even further. This is where we're moving at in this country. This is where we're going towards. We're getting to a dangerous spot, guys. Like, really, we're getting to a very dangerous spot coming up here. What happens when someone says they aren't going to take it anymore? It's getting scary. It's getting scary, and I'm not sure exactly what we should do. I'm not sure what the right path forward is. I don't like violence. I really don't want there to ever be political violence. I like talking. I like running my mouth all day. That's what I enjoy. I like running my mouth all day and just talking random stuff about politics and history and science and economics. That's what I enjoy. I don't want to get violent. I don't want there to be any violence. You know what happens when people's back gets pushed up against a wall to such an extent? What are they expecting people to eventually do? This is getting scary. This is getting very worrisome. It's getting worse. It's getting worse day by day. If a Supreme Court justice is not safe, who is? Do you really think if they won't sit there and stop these people from protesting and intimidating a Supreme Court justice, will they stop them when rioters come by your neighborhood? Will they stop them when people come by your house and threaten you? We know the cops weren't there for the kids in Texas. Do you expect them to be there for you? They're allowing crap like this to happen outside a Supreme Court justice's house. Man, we gotta get things straight. I cannot wait till when I can eventually move further away from the city. I'm already on the outskirts of a city as is, and I want to be further and further out day by day. Because I don't want any part of a lot of this crap. But again, I don't know what else to do. But what do you think? Maybe y'all can have some better suggestions. How do we handle this? What do we do to get the ship back on track, right? How do we make sure we get things back on track here? Because I'm at a loss. I don't know how you make peace with people who are going to go into this limit here. I don't know what we're supposed to, but what do you think? Maybe y'all have some better suggestions. How do we move forward from here? How do we just keep our heads down, keep our nose to the grindstone, and keep pressing forward? Because that's all I can think of right now. So leave in the comments below. What should we do from here? What should the police do with this guy? What would be the appropriate punishment for this guy who just tried to assassinate a Supreme Court justice? Because I think from what I've heard, they've been saying only 20 years in jail is about what they're saying. I think it should be further. But what do you think? Leave in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again real soon.